Hello and welcome to Wandering Monster, America's test table, where we don't play test games, we talk about Hellraiser. Look, we talked about it last week. I said that when Desiree and I were recording, we watched all of the Hellraiser movies back to back to back, and I meant that.
When
What
Johnny
you may
went a
not
courting.
what when Johnny went a
I just
courting, he did it
yeah.
with such sights to show. Um, And, during the bad movies, I said, don't, yes, some of them are not as good, but don't cry, don't waste your tears.
May I just for 1 second?
Yes.
My favorite scene in Hellraiser 3 is when the club owner slash like antagonist of the movie is giving it to that club lady and he's like smoking a cigarette while he's having sex. So he's like dripping sweat. The guy's like nude from the waist up,
It's
just like
very
thrusting away
sweaty.
at the camera, and he's just like hauling on this cigarette while he does it. It is the grossest and most like 1990s club thing I've ever
It's
seen.
the most 90s movie ever made, in my opinion.
Hackers.
Wait, is that the one with the Cenobite, the CD Cenobite? It is.
Yes.
It
Oh,
is.
Yeah.
The only way it could have been better is if he had opened his chest and it was one of those giant
16
like
disc
zip
changer.
CD changer, yeah.
Well, no, I was
those in
thinking
my
the actual
fucking
like
car,
booklets
man.
that we used to carry around with all of our CDs in it.
Yeah.
I had so many of
Um,
those, yeah.
Yeah, so okay. Look, earlier yesterday, I guess, Drew of Godless posted this thing about like, oh, now Pinhead's a woman, and what does that mean? And I have to get this off my chest. While
That's
Pinhead
the
was played by a woman, Jamie Clayton,
Mhm.
I believe, in this iteration, um, there was nothing more feminine or masculine, in my opinion, about Pinhead. Character is very
oh,
sexy, don't get me wrong, but they really played up the androgyny,
Right.
the sexual androgyny, which sometimes people say like, oh, you can't be androgynous and sexy. Nay, nay.
Oh, Grace Kelly.
that's
Those
bullshit
people are
Kelly.
right there.
wrong.
Yeah.
And in the book, the Cenobites have like evolved way beyond this binary man or woman thing. And as the
Right.
like lead hell priest, Pinhead, as they hate to be called, according to the Scarlet Gospels, is
Hell priest
obviously
is what
beyond that.
Barker calls them, yeah.
Anyway, I loved the new Hellraiser movie. I thought it was a great time. And it I say all of this to kind of lead us up into it. So
I'm waiting to see the connections.
if you
Yeah,
haven't
me
guessed it,
too.
if you haven't guessed it by now, we are playing Into the Odd from Free League Publishing. For those of you who are newer to the show, you have no idea what's happening. Charles, on the other hand, I used to do these huge rambling monologues at the beginning of every episode that had nothing at all to do with what we were talking about, and then I
Used
would
to do?
berate. Used to, and then I would berate the listener for not guessing that we were talking about goblin foreskin or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a scrotum.
Well, that was a more recent episode.
Right.
The foreskin was earlier. It's farther up the shaft. Anyway, the new Hellraiser movie kicks ass, and there's a lot to like about it. And if you don't like it, that is your prerogative. But I would, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you give it a loving try, because at least it's not Revelations. Or is it Judgment? I can never remember which one is the one that makes my skin crawl. But
I maintain up until now there have just been 2 Hellraiser films. That's it. I haven't watched this last one yet to see if it exists. It might
it
be.
does.
It does.
Okay, cool.
I will
The
say,
first 2 are definitely
Doug Bradley has raved about Jamie Clayton's Pinhead as well. And if you're one of those, I'm an extreme anti-advocate against this actor as this character. I first this anger kink awoke in me when old what's his face played Conan. And people are like, oh, I'm not going to see a Conan movie unless it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I got so angry. And it kept down to it was like,
John. All right, I'm going to salvage this real quick. So, just like Hellraiser was rebooted back from its origins to a modern retelling that's available on
I'm going
Hulu,
to go
I
smoke a
believe,
cigarette.
Into the Odd was available on Kickstarter. And if you missed the boat on it, as I think that I ordered the PDF but not the hard copy, you are in luck because it is currently available from the Free League Publishing store. We have that in the tweets that went out and on our Instagram. A link right to where you can buy that. So if you missed the Kickstarter boat, just as Doug Bradley has been gloriously reborn as Jamie what's their face, yeah, like Into the Odd is available once again, and we're very excited to dive into it tonight. So, Ian, why don't you take us into the magical kingdom of Into the Odd?
Thank you very much for that transition. So yeah, so Into the Odd is a fantastic rules light system. It is one of the on the lighter end of the game scales that we've played, which is more on my taste preference. So there's 3 core stats. Each any time that you make a strength, dexterity, or will save, you're rolling a d20, getting your stat or under. Combat is very fast and furious, where your hits basically automatic. You're rolling your weapons for damage. Your HP in this case stands for hit protection, which is kind of a different way. So you've got a little bit of a buffer before you start taking straight strength damage. After you've taken all your strength, you die. So very fast system. What this
I
does
think
is
that's pretty neat.
it does. I mean, so it's really nice because it streamlines a lot of the other nuts and bolts, so you can really focus on strange narrative and world building. The book itself, using Johann's art, really delves into this strange kind of turn of the century world with the city of Bastion, where you have strange star cults that are vying for power, rioting in the streets, accusing each other of being false gods and apostates, and you have this industry gone amok as if the industrial revolution just kept getting more and more violent and mechanical, and meanwhile the world itself has been shaped by strange unknowable outside forces, and the world itself is unexplored, unknown, constantly falling apart and being reborn. So the emphasis is go out there and find stuff, and there is a lot of stuff to find. There's a lot of generators in this book, from your characters basically randomly made to here's a random arcanum that you find that have weird and strange abilities.
That reminds me, just real quick, I will be speaking on a panel at an upcoming online convention on world building through flavor, tables, charts, and flavor text.
I like flavor.
Flavor's great.
Flavor's my
If you-
favorite.
They
And
almost renamed.
if you need a selling point for the most glorious edition of this book available, the art is just fantastic. I mean, and I mean that in the literal sense. Like it's very
Mhm.
uh if you like Heavy Metal Magazine at all, I have enjoyed it over the years. There's a bit of that flavor to it. There's some, psychedelia to it. I really like it.
There's,
Pretty cool.
almost kind of
Yeah.
that same whimsy that's captured through Troika, but using
Yeah.
much more of that old open domain art that really is evocative, and how it's been subverted through Johann's lens. Like you're saying, leans into that psychedelia, but with that old world trappings. Like you have just done an
Mhm.
edible and a blotter and walked into a Trader Joe's, and you're just freaking out about why there's so many macaroons on the wall. But
So
um,
a Tuesday, in other words.
Wednesday for us. So with that,
Blotters are not my psychedelic of choice.
I don't like Trader Joe's.
wow,
Trader Joe's isn't my
we
psychedelic of choice
here at
either.
Wanmon, we have lots of opinions, but
We get
just
our
for
shrooms
you,
at Whole Foods, is what we're saying.
Actually, Central
Oh.
Market, which is owned by HEB, has a marvelous room. You know what? Never mind.
so
Will not be arrested today, Satan.
All right. Now that we have very narrowly avoided entrapment, we are going to have our cast introduce their strange and unusual character for us.
By the unbreakable laws of Wandering Monster, I am obligated to go first, and so I shall. Tonight, I will be playing Archibald McQuigley. No, Archibald Quigley, but I prefer to go by Baldy. And almost every point of my hit protection is actually tweed that absorbs impacts, ranging from the light slap of a dueling gentleman to the heavy thwap of a musket ball. I'm an explorer, you see, and I'm out here in search of what's his name, Pashki?
Jared.
Jared. Yeah.
Yes, the search for Jared.
And you said, should I be calling you Baldy as well?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Archibaldi, got it. All right, someone top that Atlantic accent there.
The Mid-Atlantic, yeah.
Hello. Are you going? Should I
No,
go?
go ahead. Go ahead. I still have to work up to it.
Work up. Don't sleep. No sleep. I don't sleep anymore. I can't sleep. I'm fine. I'm here. Hello. I just want you all to know that my name is Richard. You may call me Dick only because we're friends. If we are not friends, you may not call me that. Only you may call me Dick. Hello.
I'm liking the direction that this evening's odd
What's that
exploration
like?
is going to take.
I am Gustavo Braga. This is my mule, whose name I have to find because I have not good memory. Where the fuck are you, mule? Mule, where are you? I love you, mule.
We had a debate about how to pronounce this mule's name.
We
Guiomar.
did. Guimar, and mule. And we came to the city to find riches, to find women. We came for many things. Unfortunately, many things they found us. What you need to know, what is very striking about Gustavo and Guimar is they look, depending on the way the light hits them, they are either a hale young man of 17 and his strong mule, or a decrepit 80-year-old man, barely capable of 90-year-old man, barely capable of holding a cup up, let alone wield a weapon, and his skin and bone dying mule.
Oh, cool.
Something about them is off, but again, it depends on how the firelight catches them, and whatever guise you see Gustavo in, it seems like the other one is the Admiralty.
So,
all right, everybody join in with me. The old gray mare, she ain't
what she used to be.
Ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be.
So we have Baldy, Dick, Gustavo, and Guiomar for the evening. And it is through strange happenstances that the three of you have formed close acquaintanceships and maybe, dare I say, friendships that have led you.
No, do not say that.
So perhaps maybe your future expedition that you're about to embark on is maybe just business?
I would think that Archibald Baldy would agree with that, although he considers Dick a friend.
Gustavo feels that since neither of these men will kiss him on the lips, that they aren't true friends and brothers.
Remember, we're playing characters. Real life.
This is me. Oh no, Gustavo thinks that too, because he cares about people.
So you are in a smoking parlor and you are overhearing the latest news of what's been happening in and around Bastion. The very scratchy phonograph that's playing in the background is just barely loud enough to overcome the noise of a latest scuffle between two cults in the streets. At this point, you're used to hearing the sounds of people being disemboweled and the wildest hooting and screaming from below. There you can see from the firelight that trickles through your windows that there's some type of effigy being burned and shouts of whichever god is the ascendant to this, the one that should be ruling over Bastion. It is, as you've said, a normal, well, Tuesday for you. But what's really interesting is this scuttlebutt that you're hearing about a very strange thing that has recently washed up, grown up on the shores just past Bastion is a well, no one knows exactly what to call it, but by the time that someone has put eyes on it, it's changed forms. Some people have said it's a giant sponge. Some others say that it's like a giant nautilus shell or a conch shell, or it's a giant outcropping of coral. But it keeps changing shape and getting larger and larger. And by the time that you're getting this news, you've heard that some people have even wandered inside and not come out. But surely with something like that, there has to be strange and interesting things to be found. After all, the strange forces from beyond this world don't toy with this world unless there's some type of amusement to be gained or some influence to be wrought. So perhaps if,
If I may.
oh, absolutely.
Gentlemen, I say in the smoking chamber, I've shot many a peculiar thing over the years. My study's walls are studded with many heads, many different species. I say that this new sponge core outcropping person eating mechanism might make a handsome addition to my parlor, or at least contain something that does. I say I smell profit.
Did you just knock over your mule?
He took a drag on the cigarette so hard that his chair collapsed.
I've Gustavo smokes so much that he's actually been kicked out of the smoking parlor before. He's
It's like getting kicked out of a bar. They just grab him by the pants and just out
So-
you go.
So, as someone who used to run a smoking parlor or a cigar bar, has happened.
I bet.
It was a younger kid who was power smoking through the longest and biggest cigars that he could, and we eventually were like, "You have to stop. You are like our smoke heaters can't keep up with specifically you. You need to knock it
he's
off."
just gonna make himself sick, man.
I mean, on one hand, he was spending money because, like
yeah.
$8 a stick. Thank you. But on the other hand, like you're making the other customers uncomfortable, and they have also spent their $12 or more dollars a stick. Sure, they're taking more time, but yeah, it's
So-
possible for any naysayer. John's character is right.
So as Gustavo opens his mouth, you can just hear the sounds of very dry eyes rolling as your mouth just channels out lots of very thick, dark smoke.
Yeah. It's cotton. The smoke kind of swirls around, takes the form of a decrepit, rotting dragon in silhouette, and then floats to the floor and dissipates. If there's power to be had, I will go. Something to break the curse, you know?
Filing that one away.
Y'all
So
know
I have
I
a quick
can't sleep.
question. Yeah, okay. So like I didn't get a curse. Did I get shortchanged by our GM?
I made up the curse just now as part of my
Oh,
character.
okay.
I'm improving. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm thinking like nah, I have a very specific curse that'll come into play, I hope later. I've decided. Like I have a practical question about How do you pronounce the mule's name again?
Guiamar?
Bimar.
Guiamar. Can Guiamar hold all three of us at the same time?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Just checking.
Absolutely
Too
not.
bad.
All right. Let's make our way to Spongeland.
All right. So through a series of montages, we see you exiting the now extremely thick, smoggy smoking room. At this point, the streets themselves have just been cleaned up from this riotous thing. You can see some charred remnants of some effigy, you're not exactly sure, and burnt banners for some type of cult. Camera keeps going along to your stagecoach that takes you far out into the distance. Smash cuts of a very verdant and weird countryside before getting to the shoreline. You can see already in the distance this thing that is kind of looming on the horizon. It is a strange mix of metallic and coralline materials, seeming both artificial and organic. It's massive. It's almost itself a giant dome, like a citadel, and yet it gives this odd presence of somehow also being far too small. But regardless, you can see that you could just go up this beach straight to the entrance to this thing. From here, it looks like it just might be a slope downward inside of it, like it's a giant shell.
Cool.
This is what you think has power in it? I will bet you. I will bet you. I will bet you 15 that all we find in there is scavengers and shit.
Now,
I'm a man quite given to betting. I'll take that bet.
now would that be 15 penning
I have
shillings
no
or
idea.
guilders?
Whatever the 15
don't-
money units.
No,
15
I think you'll know Gustavo well enough now that it could be anything.
15
It might be
mules.
$15, but he could say, "Okay, you owe me 15 pairs of socks now," or he might pay you back in like 15 rat skulls. Who knows?
I think I'd be
15
happy if
fingers,
either of those.
all of your own, plus 5 of someone else's.
I mean, that's not a bad deal.
You and half of a friend.
So,
yeah, so I think we're gonna venture inside.
So as you approach the slope inward, this you see growing in the outside of it are fronds of gray coral that catch the light, almost kind of looking like gray pyrite or hematite of some type of kind. The sea beside you is frothy, and dead fish are just beaching themselves with every passing wave. It has a very strong smell of iodine and fish guts here.
Ew.
Who's going in first?
I'll do it. My tweed is
Bald will
the
do it.
thickest. Yeah. Both THICC and THICK. My tweed is both thick and covers my voluptuous hindquarters.
So as you
Is it dark? I don't have a light source, I don't think.
well, you took the words right out of my out of my mouth. It is a dark cave, and you hear the sounds of the sea almost louder than when you were standing right next to the sea. It's almost oppressively dark at first until you kind of see that there's almost a lambent red glow in this space. There
I'm
are
going to
some
call back to my compatriots and say, gentlemen, come inside. You can hear the ocean.
You can hear the ocean out here, but I do go inside.
That was the joke. You know,
Uh,
with a shell. Anyway.
while you're waiting for your compatriots, roll me d6.
You got it. That would be a 2.
All right. And roll me d6 one more time.
You got it. And that was a 1.
So you hear something coming from a passageway that's low and down to the ground, like you'd have to crawl through it. It has a thumping and then a spongy sound and a wet sound like a squelch, and it seems to be almost like a shuffling or a hopping sound coming from a space beyond this crawl space. There's an odd acrid smell that comes from that passageway. But from here, there's other exits into this place deeper. There is a passageway on the wall to your southeast from here, where that red light is glowing just a little bit more. Um, s- Immediately in front of you, you see that there is a passageway that is opened up that is fringed with red coral that's almost the color of like fresh meat, emitting a pretty strong irony and rot smell. That type of coral growth extends across the western wall and it almost looks rubbery, and you almost feel like you could see through the fronds to a space beyond. There is another passageway that is to your west from your sorry, to your due east from here, um, that doesn't really give any type of light. It just seems dark. It must be a longer passageway into this place. So you have many different egresses, or I guess entrances, to explore deeper into this place. Tell me more about what you think that you want to do.
No, first of all, I'm gonna wait for my buddies.
I thought you just said no. So, so tell me more about what you want to do. No.
No.
So to reiterate, we have from this space we have 4 exits. You have, well, I'll just sum them up real quick. You have one to the southwest, you have one to the southeast, you have one due east, you have a crawl that is to your kind of back behind you a bit, like northeast, and then you have something suspicious about your west wall. A
My
lot.
vote would be either for the wall or the red light.
Yeah. Gustavo turns around and presses his head against the mule's head. He whispers something, and after a second, the mule's lips move as if it's speaking back. Gustavo nods and moves resolutely towards the western wall.
Okay.
Gustavo.
So this coral is, when you reach out to touch it first, or do you start hacking right into it?
No, I'm going to touch it sensually, slowly.
It feels soft and almost meaty, like it's not hard coral. It's almost in between, almost like cured meat or rubber. Um, Behind it, you can see that there is a space that extends beyond here, and you could cut into it.
I explore it, man. Gross. I explore it with my fingertips, just
It doesn't.
kneading.
It doesn't part for you. It looks like you're gonna have to cut
That
it.
doesn't sound realistic.
Spit on it
Um,
first.
But does it have give?
It's spongy, so you feel like you could cut it with a sharp instrument. It feels like it's kind of webbed over itself, almost like a giant scab, so you wouldn't be able to really push your way into it.
It's like a wall made out of Nerf.
Do one
Yeah.
of you have a how do you call knife?
I regrettably have no such thing. I only have a projectile weapon.
In theory, I should. Well, machete.
We could probably
Yeah.
I don't know. You got one?
I got a machete. D6.
Yeah, may
Unless
I?
I'm misreading that.
No, you do have a machete. You have a machete, and you have a talking parrot.
May I
Well,
cut you
I
too?
know. I just don't know what to say. He always insults me. Why would you bring up the talking parrot? Don't talk
May I,
talking bird.
my friend,
Oh,
Richard.
hi.
Richard, may I touch your tool?
I didn't think you'd ever ask. Of course you can touch my tool. Let me just get it ready.
I reach around him as though I'm about to hug him, and then slip my hand into his sheath and grab his machete. Thank you. I kiss his cheek.
Careful, that's my cooking machete. Gotta keep it clean.
we will be, how you say, cutting the meat. And I don't know, man.
Exactly what
Uh,
it's for.
and Gustavo goes up to the wall and kind of, he doesn't like, he kind of pushes the back and leans into it and makes slow sensual motions, just seeing how easily it slices.
It
Yeah,
makes
keep
like
it
Man,
a
like,
short.
you don't want slow and sensual with like. Well, I guess you do if you're a serial killer with your cutting, but
Well, it depends. Like, I don't know what's under there. I don't want to break his machete.
I think we've been implied. We've been told there's a room on the other side.
Well, we can't see that though, I don't think.
Yeah, I think he said you can almost see
it's
it
kind
through
of
the phone.
it's kind of like a weird rubbery coral is kind of making like a scab over a passageway. And as you have lean in with your machete, cutting it slowly and cleanly, you
And
see
and
essentially
thank
Essentially,
you.
there is a sigh that comes from the tunnel.
Mm.
You can see as you have put an emphasis on being very sensual and sensitive about your cuts, that this tunnel extends deeper into both the ground and the shell of itself, but it looks like the far end of it has collapsed upon itself. And over this pile of detritus are the big rubbery appendages of some kind that are just kind of very slowly lolling in the back and forth. By just outside the reach of those tentacle like appendages is a corpse, and you see that there is a bulge in one of its pockets.
Ah, I am,
or it's
am
just happy to see us.
I'm gonna find out. Tell you what, I go over there and put my hand in his pocket. Gustavo
Uh,
doesn't care. Life is non-ending pain. Why should this be any different?
all right.
I'm just
So,
gonna go ahead and start loading my musket right now.
um, so you are as you were fishing around, you're noticing as you're pulling out a sack that there are these giant wet holes in the corpse, and you have a big heavy sack in your hand, and then those tentacles start to perk up and launch themselves at you. Make me a deck save. So that's D20 equal to lower. Well, prevents an unconsensual hug.
Boys, we did it. Um, I get hugged so good.
Did you roll an nat 20?
I rolled a nat 20, baby. My hugs are the best.
All right. So the tendrils wrap themselves first
Mhm.
sensuously
Yeah,
and then aggressively around you as they
nice.
begin to penetrate your body with these lamprey like mouths that begin to
Yep,
rend your
love it.
flesh.
Like it.
From behind the wall of rubble, there's a very high pitched keening sound of delight. So that does, wow, 6 points of damage. So the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to soak through your hit protection, which is 2. So you've
Yep.
taken 4 points straight to the old strength, which is 9. So you're lowered to 5 points of strength, and now you need to make a strength check to prevent taking critical damage. So 5 or less on.
Come on, 20. All right, 2. Sorry, I
Nice.
rolled a 7. I rolled a 7.
Oh, so you're 2 over. Okay,
Yes, sir. That's
all
what
right.
I was.
So you hear what type of since you've been kind of this on the edge here with sensuousness with what type of sound is this, like a Hellraiser thing? Like is this like do you make like a squeal of delight before you pass out, or how does this happen?
Um, no. What Gustavo does is, as soon as the first tentacle penetrates, he begins shouting the recipe for pan de queijo in Portuguese.
All right. So
And as he passes out, he whimpers, Parmigiano, and passes out.
Jordan
Guiamar,
forgot to mention that he's Portuguese, and this is the second character
Portuguese
from
character.
Portugal that he's gotten to portray. It was very exciting for him.
Guiamar doesn't seem dismayed. If anything, Guimard has a look of just, this
No,
happens.
wait, hold on. Hold on. You know what I told you earlier in chat. Guimar kind of walks up to Gustavo's body, looks at the two of you, shakes his head in disgust, and grabs Gustavo's foot and begins like pulling him back away from the tentacles and bag.
So Gustavo is
I'm playing Guimar, by the way.
So Gustavo is not dead at this stand. He just is completely incapacitated and will die within the hour if he doesn't get medical attention or benefit from like a
I
long
assume
rest.
I assume I assume Guimar will die with Gustavo. They're the
We'll
same. They're the same being.
we'll see. So roll me a d6. We're going to have a luck check for Guiamar here.
3.
So Guimar does indeed dodge the barrage of tentacles that launch out at him as he drags your corpse to safety. You are still clutching the sack of probably metal coins as it's making a jingle sound as you're being dragged back to the room. What are the rest of you doing? So you have multiple different.
Backing away slowly.
Don't want none of that. No, thank you.
No,
Grabbing
I
my
don't,
machete
yeah.
back?
What's that?
Yeah, he is dragging the machete with his other hand. Coins in one hand, machete in the other.
No, I take my machete back. It's mine. Why would you take my machete and nearly lose it
Rude.
to the tentacles? Why would you?
Rude, it's his property.
Property is
let's
a illusion
see.
of the bourgeoisie.
Well, it's true. Let's see. I can't slash heal him. I don't have the
Okay,
ability to,
either.
regrettably. We could either retreat to the town and try and get him medical attention, or just keep going and see if he lives or dies.
So what you could do is while you're taking a short rest, which is a couple minute break, he could be attended to, and that would be sufficient enough to have him uh, be revived. However, it means you're going to be vulnerable for that time, and there is that weird sound of something moving just on the other side of this crawl space. So the question is, do you risk it? Do you pull him back outside this structure and
Yeah,
rest there?
yeah, we risk it. I'll tend to him.
You barely
Wait,
walked that far in, so it's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
not that much of a hardship, hopefully.
So the three of you, or I guess the four of you, including the mule, go back outside of the shell. You can see in the distance that there are some ships having some type of ship-to-ship combat. You hear the very distant thunder of broadsides and very excited ejaculatory huzzas being raised back and forth,
As you do.
as one does. So
Accusatory.
yes, I was trying to use old-timey words since we are kind of in this. It is a proper use for it.
I know.
You know what's this is perfect. This is a perfect thing. You see this in writing circles all the time. Is writers and editors being like, "Hey, there's a word. It's called said. Please use said." I believe it was a character in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book, Slughorn, who ejaculates at Harry at
Yes.
one point.
And jactitation is another word my boss likes to interject. Dealing
Well,
with.
tell him to tromble on back away from your desk before he ejaculates.
I wanted to be the one tonight. Damn it.
So you take a couple minutes to rest and patch up your companion's wounds. So over the
Sweet.
time,
They're all
over the
patched up and
span
sweet.
of a couple of minutes, you get your breath back and you get your 2 hit points back. But your strength damage is going to be there until you take your rest or a long rest. So you do have very large, angry welts that are kind of swelling from those tentacle bites.
That's fair.
All right. After you've had your rest, you go back in.
Hell no. I don't want none of those tentacles.
No, I mean, do you go back inside the shell?
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you guys feel like exploring that red glow? I'm usually all about a red glow.
You are. That's true.
Yeah.
I once
If I see
knew
one on the street, I'll just
Roxanne
follow it.
who turned on a red glow.
Roxanne, you
All
don't
right.
have to put on the red light.
Roxanne, you're gonna
So,
have to sell your body to the night tonight.
Mr. Pesky,
Roxanne.
Oh, awful.
My character sheet specifically says I have to make goofy jokes, so I feel like check. We've
This
done
is
it.
the first time I made myself laugh like this. All right, I'm better. Okay.
all right.
Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm gonna be keeping that one low.
All right, so adventure.
So roll me
I'm
d6,
ready.
Mr. Pesky.
All right, rolling a d6. That's 3.
3. All right. You don't seem to hear that thing that was on on the other side of this crawl space that's to your northeast. You don't hear that anymore. And in fact, that red glow that's to the passageway to the due east no longer is glowing there. It's a little bit
Excellent.
darker than it was before here. You can see that there are still 4 passageways from here that you haven't explored. You have the doorway that is to your southwest that was fringed by more of that soft, frilly, supple coral material. To your southeast from here, you have this vacant doorway and the smell of the ocean coming through it. Due east from here, where you originally had that red glow, it's now just dark down that corridor. And you have this mysterious crawlway, again, that I mentioned.
Gustavo's not making any more choices.
Red light without must not be fun anymore. Must not be good. Must be bad. Must be good. No,
Yeah.
all right. Crawling is the first step you take in life. There go. We should crawl our way through this the shale.
I'm a big fan of the
Right?
phrase "there go."
Yeah, that's just logic I can't argue with, you know. What was the riddle of the Sphinx? Four legs in the morning and dead at night or
Yeah.
whatever.
4 legs, 2 legs, 3 legs. What am I? I am an old guy now.
A witch.
Yep. So are you gonna crawl in there first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I have guns, right? I have both a machete and guns, right?
Yeah.
Bracer of
You're
pistols.
like a pirate.
Yeah.
You
So,
can do sword one hand, pistol the
Dick.
other. Totally pirated up.
Dick pirate.
I assume I've cleaned off my machete, so that's got to be in my mouth. Just crawling through 2 guns and a machete, triple wielding.
That's so
So-
wide. Like if you tried to walk through a door, would you make
I
it,
will go out to
or-
my garage and grab 2 machetes, and we can compare and contrast. I'm pretty sure it's only going to be about this, based off of one of my machetes.
So as you crawl through this space, before you get up and stand up in the next room, you can see that there is a body in the center of this room. It is a rectangular chamber that has transparent walls. It almost looks like hard glass, and there is strange sea life on the other sides of it. From your vantage point, you can see that there is some type of door that is made of metal just on the other side of this room. And if you poke your head in and look to the south, you can see that there is a vent.
I just crawled in here. I can crawl out of here through the vent. The vent's got to be the best way to go. What is with all the glass on the walls? It's like I'm on the reverse fish tank because the fish are on the other side. Is
You
this how they feel? Do I only have 3 seconds worth of memory? There is a vent. I came in here through a vent.
So do you stand up in this room and look at those walls?
I would investigate the dead body if
All
if
right.
it is in fact dead, if not a live body. Cautiously, machete first.
It is a body. Its skin is pale. It looks to be like a feeble humanoid figure, slightly androgynous. You could
I
touch it
like
to
it.
see if it's warm or cold to know how long it's been there.
Poke it.
Definitely poke it.
Poke the body.
I poke the body.
It's cold.
Poke the body.
Right. I loot the body.
As you poke and start looting it, trying to find things, it involuntarily opens its eyes, and they're just milky white orbs.
All right, I'm gonna start
Morning.
crawling
You should
in there
definitely
so I
stab it.
can back my friend up.
Good morning,
All right.
sunshine. I'm glad you're here. Hi.
It does not respond to you.
Well, if you're gonna be that way, then just close your eyes.
You'd cut its head off. You have a machete.
That would be rude.
So, what about you, Gustav? Are you joining your compatriots?
Yes, but slowly. I tell Guimar to stand at the opening of the big shell man thing.
Hellmouth.
Hellmouth, yeah, the helmet. And stand guard because we communicate. Anyway, so I tell him to kind of wait at the entrance and warn us. But yeah, I'm crawling with them. I am worse for the wear.
So once I get in there, while we're waiting for the body to do something other than just open its eyes, I would like to take a quick peek at the sea life that's in the glass walls.
Yeah. So when you look at it, you see that there are dead fish just kind of bobbing in. Maybe it's water, maybe it's something else. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it's a viscous fluid or it's just an illusion of the glass. But what's really disconcerting are there these sea worms, again, with these lamprey like mouths that unnervingly skitter back and forth, excited as you get close to the glass. They're very dark colored, like the color of leeches.
Well, I postulate, my fellows, and then I say that I suspect the worms have drained this body, and thus its pearly alabaster skin and its open eyeballs might be a sign that this is some sort of like zombifying parasite or whatever. So yeah, Dick, my good man, would you be a good fellow and behead that body, would you?
Quite rude. I went over this while you were crawling through the tunnel. Obviously, you didn't hear me, but it's quite unprofessional. Are you okay, sir, if I cut your head off? Sir, would it be all right? Oh, bother. Hey, have you heard the one about why fish can't clap their hands?
Why can't
Because they're
no.
all dead. And then I cut off his head.
You should have did. That does not all fish are dead. What?
A very
I ju-
thick,
Okay.
viscous substance pours out of the neck stump. It's the color of like red, almost like red toothpaste. It's
Ugh.
not quite like a tomato bisque and a clam chowder mixed together, but it's not too dissimilar from that.
No,
But it
thank
has
you.
no odor at all as you watch it just drain all across the floor. From here again to the due south, you have what looks to be like a vent, small metal boxy slatted covering, a little bit of a breeze coming from it, and then a metal door that looks almost like a shutter that is to the on the southeast corner of this room.
I'm
I'll go try
always
the shutter.
All right.
What was that, Pashki?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm always pro vent. I'm always pro crawling. I like the small spaces.
Yeah, well, let's do it a pincher movement,
No,
you know?
yeah, that works.
So there's no
All
handle
right.
on the door, and so it takes a little bit of time to figure out that it doesn't open in or out, but it has to be pushed up into the ceiling, like it retracts upward.
Yeah, when you said it was,
Oh,
I
well,
forget
I
how
mean,
you described it, but I assumed that it was like a roll up, like a security gate at a store or whatever.
I just imagine that would be like a very novel thing in this time and age, like a
Oh, good
a
point.
door
Yeah.
that goes into the like retracting up like a Venetian
Into the
blind.
ceiling, you say.
um,
They know about this at the World's Fair.
Ugh.
so when you open this door, the first thing that you get is this waft of sulfur that just comes billowing out and something sickly behind it, like maybe rotten lemons. The
Mm.
walls of this adjoining room seem to be covered in a thick yellow slime that twitches on and off, almost spasmodically and at random. You see that there is a pulsing sac that bobs in the center of the room, almost suspended by a very small tubule. So it kind of hangs almost like a sack of mucus in the center of the room. It has two balloon like eyes that kind of puff up inside of its body, and it looks, if looking is what it's doing, vacantly in your direction, as if anticipating what you're going to do.
Well, you guys want me to just shoot it?
I have thought about this, and I want you to just shoot it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot it
As you are
with
loading
my
your
musket.
so you're, oh, I see you've already loaded your musket. You see, as you're pulling your musket out, it's beginning to grow little stubby feet.
I hate that.
The little tubule that it's suspended by snaps, and it plops wetly on its feet. And again, it just stares at you as you.
If it grows arms, I might challenge it to a game because I'm a sporting fellow. So I'm actually gonna like aim at it, but not quite blow it to hell just yet.
Oh, you have fallen into its trap.
You
It
could feed
doesn't.
it the dead body.
If you can grow legs, it can seduce you.
It doesn't.
You've
Doesn't.
definitely made some choices with Gustavo. I like it.
It doesn't grow
I'm
any
just,
arms. Sorry.
I'm just sort
Yeah,
of
then it's
doing
gonna
what
die.
feels right.
It
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
begin to glow just a little bit.
See, this is how it starts.
I'm gonna kill it.
Seduction, I mean,
glowy.
but do kill it, yes.
All right. Roll me a will save.
Alrighty.
So D20 equal to your equal or less, which is for you a 13.
Ooh, just barely. It's a 12.
All right. So as you are beginning to as you are pulling out your musket and you've made your decision to fire at it, time slows for just a little bit, and you see as you're beginning to squeeze your finger over the trigger, its eyes begin to puff out more and it begins to glow brighter. But with your honed reflexes, Baldy, you get the drop on it and you get the fire. So you're going to be rolling your musket, so that's D8 for damage.
Let's see. I have the D10. There's the D8. Okay. That would be a 7.
All right. So you fire into it and it ruptures snot everywhere.
I was hoping that would
it's like a
happen.
rotten fruit. And make me, well, let's see. Make me make me one more will save.
You got it. And that one I definitely passed. That is a 5.
All right. as you kill it, it emits this terrible, keening psychic scream as it dies. It's almost like trying to say something, but it was cut off short by the blast of your musket, and it tries to bore its message into your skull. But luckily, you spent so much time not only polishing your monocle, but your chrome dome that you were able to reflect off the psychic scream, and it just gets sucked into the slime on the walls. It like ripples like it's just been hit with a hair dryer, and then the slime goes back to normal. After a few seconds, you see all the slime on the wall begin to droop and begins to melt off the walls. From here,
You've done well, my friend. I pull him in and kiss his cheek.
I will allow it. And that, gentlemen, is how you murder something.
you see from here that there is a glass window that appears after the slime sloughs off. That, or maybe it's a glass door. You're not sure because there's some odd glass nobules that are kind of built into it that looks into the room beyond.
Well, I'd like to go have a peek.
From here, you see that there is a um, another on the wall to your east. From here, there is a wooden door as well.
You guys want the wood door?
Am I still at the vent?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You want to open said vent?
I mean, they've been over there shooting and having fun. So. Sure, I'll open a vent. I'll see what's inside. I like vents. Vents are cool.
All right.
There's a breeze.
All right. So roll me d6 as you open this vent.
I have dice too. 4.
All right. So you open this vent and you see a metal passageway that opens into a room that looks to be completely piled with boxes, like boxes along the sides of the wall. And then in the very center of the room is a very large ceramic box. The box itself kind of prevents you from seeing too much further past it since the walls are basically stacked up floor to ceiling with various boxes.
We beeline for that ceramic box. I
All right.
ceramic, so it's either fragile or it's shielding radiation coming out inside.
All right.
So I should smash it.
All right. Give me a strength check, or a strength save as you're opening this box.
All right, that's a D6 or D20.
It's a D20, and for you, you are trying to hit target of 11 or less.
That's a 9 that I rolled.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay, there's strength.
All right. So the ceramic lid is both heavy and it's slick. And so you have for a second, you almost feel like you might accidentally drop out on your feet, but you hold it and you very carefully put the lid down. Inside the box, you see that there are 6 jars that are each stoppered with a big cork.
Pocket those, that's for sure.
So these are large, these are about football size, American football or foosball as you hear.
Yeah, American soccer. That's right. It's game different. These are more of the American ball shape. I need all 6 of them.
Or imagine that they're like bowling pin size. Let's say that.
Okay.
Maybe,
Yeah.
well, how about that? We'll slim them down.
I pull them out of the tank of the toilet and I put the lid back on.
All right.
You're not going to leave an upper decker?
I mean, it's a box. I don't know. My joke was that ceramic toilets are also have lids and are ceramic. I feel like that joke fell flat. I would like to apologize.
Oh no!
I'm hearing you.
Your audio.
Yeah, bring the microphone closer to your mouth.
Okay, sorry. I guess this character I'm making more soft spoken than I normally do, so that's my fault. No. Yeah, my joke was that since it was a ceramic box and toilets are made of like porcelain or ceramic.
There we go.
then there go, it's the lid to a toilet. And I was going to try to figure out a way to segue into the fact that the Coors Brewing Company invented the ceramic insulation for the first nuclear bomb. It's a little weird tidbit that I never
Huh.
get to throw around. Also, Coors Brewing
Now-
Company, you don't have an Adolf Coors the third without being a lot of bit racist. Don't drink Coors.
I
I've learned a lot today.
appreciate that knowledge, and I won't.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the more that you learn with one mod, you need to have like in post edit, we need to have like a little like rainbow and like shooting stars.
I will not be doing that.
All right.
Okay. I can't do
So-
that though, because I
So, as a quick thing, so you're pocketing these. Are you opening the stopper in any of these 6 ceramic vials? Or-
number 4. I opened just that one.
all right. So you judge which one would be the 4th, and you open the cork, and you see inside this, it's filled to the top with green beads.
Not green beans, green bees.
Green beads.
Green beads. Wonderful. I could put them on a string and then I could give them to people and they would show me what's underneath their clothes. This is delightful. What a bountiful treasure I have found for myself. It's all mine. I will not show the others.
So Gustavo, you had a friend go into a room full of snot, and a friend go into a room full of boxes. Where are you and your mule
I'm
going?
following I've been following Baldy.
Yeah.
All right.
If you
I think we're
didn't,
gonna
if
try
you didn't,
the.
if you weren't clued in by my smooches,
Yeah. Do you want to try the wooden door, Gustavo? Do you want to try the glass one? Do you want to go back?
the wooden door is the most confusing to me.
Yeah,
Why
it's
is there
like
wood here?
It seems exactly. It seems like the first I don't know. Ceramic is somewhat non.
Ceramic
Well,
is
wood
clay.
is
It's hot
organic, but yeah.
clay. Glass is hot
Yeah.
sand. Wood. Where does wood come? Does anyone know where wood actually comes from? No one. What is
Fucking
happening?
wood. How does it work?
No one knows.
You hear from the distance, humans evolved to propagate trees. It's a fact.
These sounds.
Wamba, the more you know. If you're
My
watching this, and
contribution- yeah,
You're
my
watching this and
contribution is gonna
hating every
be-
second.
no,
Thanks for
I was going to
sticking
say
in there
if you
with
could
us.
make a nice musical jingle that we could use to just like interject. No,
I'm sure we
Yeah.
can find it in stock footage. It's just,
Fun fact.
Lord.
all right. So
yeah.
you sounds like you're heading towards this glass door.
No, we're hecked wood.
I thought
Yeah.
you said you confused, and I didn't think you wanted to touch it. With all right,
It's scary, but I'm into it.
okay, you got to face your fears. So
Gotta reload my musket as we're making our way.
So the door is mostly free of the snot-like stuff that is puddled by the door, and it has a brass knob that is covered in verdigris. You just open the door. And who's opening it?
I will do it after whipping out my tweed handkerchief, my kerchief, and
Like a gentleman.
using- What?
Like a gentleman.
Exactly, and using that to open the verdigris knob, so I don't get whatever funk is on there.
All right, roll me d6.
You got it. 3.
All right. So when you open the door on the other side, you see that there is the floor itself is a 10-foot glass dome. It looks like it's filled with spraying water, like if it's constantly turning, like it almost have like a small maelstrom that's moving back and forth.
Ooh,
There
like
is-
the juice machine at the movie theater. You know, the Olay or whatever it is.
It's
the-
like that, but
Yeah.
there's like something yellow that is swimming underneath the dome. In the
Delicious.
corner of this room, you see another one of those snot creatures that is just suspending and hanging from the ceiling, contemplating, almost looking at you with now very judgmental eyes as
Ooh.
you enter into this space.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill that one too.
um, from here, you see that there is on the north side of on the north wall of this room, there is a large set of double doors covered in ornate symbols that are interwoven with a braid pattern that looks carved in the door. It too is both, it is also wood as well. There is on the south wall of this room, it opens into a staircase that descends down out of sight. And the longer you're in here, the more impatient and more agitated that snot thing is looking like.
Yeah, I'm quite serious. I'm gonna kill it like
Yeah.
immediately.
All right, roll me d20. Sorry,
You
roll me
got it.
your will save.
And that is a 14, which is a big old fail.
All right, so it grows one of those stubby legs. The other one is like stuck up inside of it, and you see like a little nub like kicking, trying to like free a leg. And its bulbous eye sacs begin to swell in it as its goopy body begins to distend and it sucks inward in itself, making what would look to be like a mouth, puffs out, and you hear this terrible scream. Before you were able to deflect it, since you got the dodge, you were able to go first. This thing gets all of its power upon you, and it inflicts. Oh wow, I'm rolling real high tonight. 6 points of damage straight to your willpower.
Yeesh.
Wow, no
You
soak at
feel
all.
nope. You
Wow.
blood just drains out of one nostril down your face. Did you have a very well like waxed mustachio
Oh, you
or
better believe it. Yeah, it's
Now you have
magnificent.
a waxed blood stachio.
And that's out of my strength, right?
no,
And how
that's
many
out of your
points did you say
willpower.
that was? Oh,
6 out of
willpower.
your willpower.
Okay.
I also have a musket.
Are you in that room?
I
I thought
am.
you Oh, all right. Well, then you take 5 points of psychic damage as you begin to sweat blood profusely as you feel the microscopic level of your blood boiling and
Do we need
roiling.
to make checks to make sure we don't
Yeah, I was
pass
gonna
out?
say, does he get a will check for that?
Technically not with this creature.
Well, no. Do
Oh
we
wow.
have to make checks after taking damage
Oh
to make
no,
sure we don't
you
pass
don't.
out?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. How much will did you even have?
I had.
Oh, you had 10. All right, so you're at 5 willpower.
Yeah, I'm not doing great. We're doing fine.
All right. So you gonna fire that musket now?
Yes, I'm gonna fire that musket.
Well, we'll do the order of operations is going to be first Baldy and then you, since he already was pulling his weapon to fire.
Oh, I thought he had already fired.
No, he hadn't fired. So the initiative in this game is you roll for will, and if you don't pass your will, then the other thing goes first in essence. So
Gotcha.
they got
Gotcha.
its
Okay.
psychic scream out first, so then it was his turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow it to shit. Please.
All right, so roll me that D8 for your musket.
You got it. Ah, you fucking slimy thing. Is that my 8? No, that's my 12. Just 1 second. Oh, I mixed these up by accident somehow.
I can roll for you as well if that's easier.
No. I just found it. That's a 3.
So your musket shot goes straight through it, and instead of exploding this one like the other one, like a rotten tomato, this thing barely holds on. It's the force of your musket popped out its other leg that it wanted free, and it kind of kicks in pain and agony as then the lower half of its body just falls off. the top part of his body is still hanging, and its eyes inside of its skull sack begin to just puff up larger and larger. You see, like from the bottom half of it that has been shot out by the musket, it is beginning to suck in more air and it's swelling more to maybe scream again. Gustavo, take your shot.
If I may, so you guys know those like stress squeezy things, the
Yeah.
old school ones where like the eyes bug out? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I'm picturing this
Oh,
thing.
that's even better. But yellow snot, yeah, that's canon now.
Yeah.
I rolled an 11.
Oh, so you're just rolling straight damage.
Oh. Okay. Am I considered impaired because I passed out?
No, because you're not actively impaired. You rested. You got your HP back
Okay.
up.
Just making sure.
I tended to you. I bandaged you in tweed.
All right, that's 4.
All right. So you blow the rest of it off. It falls in a wet heap, and it makes a splatter sound as it just turns to goo. Part of it splashes over that glass dome, and whatever's inside of it begins to whip into an even more rigorous frenzy. It begins to churn that water so much that it begins to foam on the underside of that glass, making it hard to see inside of it now. So, Dick, you hear the sounds of 2 musket fires being fired in the other side of the building. It kind of echoes through the many doorways through this place, and it's kind of hard to tell exactly where your friends are. Where
3
you
shots total now.
Well, 2 in this room because he was in that room when you fired the first. I see what you're saying. You're
Oh
right.
yeah, he was.
Yeah. Sequence wise, you're right. So where you are, you have the way back that you came from with that hatch. There is a door to your west, presumably maybe going back to that first room where you entered. And the way the boxes are heaped up makes it seem like maybe there might be a passageway to the south.
And they're to the south of me.
Maybe there's a whole bunch of boxes, but
I see you explore, Dora.
No way bien. I don't know how to speak Spanish.
audio.
What?
Nothing. Sorry, I thought you were
Nah.
talking. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with my stuff. My lights on my board are moving okay.
You're good.
I don't know. But I'm like right up on it and just like real close.
I like it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but that's generally the rule, like in recordings, like put your lips right up on the microphone.
Yeah.
If you can extend your
Fine.
tongue and like lick it like Trent Reznor did.
Maybe don't do
that's
that
great.
part. Don't look. Charles is your friend, but
Hot
also
filter.
sometimes he's your enemy.
Which one of us are you talking about?
All Charles, all of them.
That's
Every last
You
one.
remember in Labyrinth the 2 guys who were like upside down, and one of them always told the truth, and one of them always lied. Like,
right.
That's me and Pashke. Like we're the
Except you're both
the 2
fucking liars.
I will always lie to you.
And so will
and
I.
I will
Fuck
always
you.
tell the truth.
Anyhow, the King of England is gonna really screw with people since he's a Charles, and just anyways, back to the game. So I hear the gunshots and I'm a crazy person. My friends might need me, but the boxes over there, they could be easy to climb. I should just go. One box. I look at like a box, see if I can figure out what it is. And while I'm kind of shimmying back and forth, like,
do you take it with you,
But,
or are you just opening it as you're walking away?
yeah, I grab the box.
Okay.
And I don't know how big it is. We'll pretend this box is the size, and I just like
the size of a box.
Yeah, it's box shaped.
We'll just say that it's the
It
size
has
of your average
corners.
Amazon box. So as you head back to your compatriots, this box that you've grabbed is of a very thin, lightweight metal. It looks like you can just pull open like a pull tab and see what's inside. Do you open it now or wait for your compatriots?
If I wait till I get to the compatriots. I'm like, guys, I found the spam, and then I open it.
So inside of it, there are scraps of jerky that are spread across the bottom of the
Oh,
box.
delicious.
Ooh, I want some. I'm
Uh,
gonna eat the
you can
jerky. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You
There
have
already
no
is.
way of knowing exactly what meat this is.
Don't care.
I
to
already
me,
said it was spam.
It don't
Does-
What are
taste
you
like
trying to
spam.
prove?
hey, I have a quick question. Ian, plug your ears real quick.
All right.
Charles's, has Ian played with us before? You don't know what the meat is. Yeah, I eat it. That's the fun. Okay, Ian, you can listen in again.
Oh no, I was
I
saying
eat
you.
the
No, I'm saying
meat.
you don't know. I'm saying you eat it and you don't know what it is. Like
Oh,
it
so
tastes
tasty.
something like pork, but also maybe like cuttlefish at the same time.
Okay, quick story.
Yes.
Like
I
so,
don't
I
like
was
that
I
at
made
all.
you a sandwich. Sorry.
I was vegan for a little while, and there was actually a place here locally that made vegan jerky that was like damn near as good as like meat jerky, and I was always really impressed. And then like the owner revealed that all he really did was like buy the soy chicken from Costco and like use basically a Ronco brand food dehydrator and a really good marinade to like render it down. And after that, I couldn't enjoy it. But when you say cuttlefish jerky, I was pescatarian for a while too, and I found squid jerky at the Korean market down the
Yeah.
street,
Hmm.
I've
and
had
it
that.
is fucking fire. It is so
Yeah,
good. Like
yeah.
it's meaty, but it's kind of sweet at the same time. Like if you ever have a chance to try squid jerky, like definitely check it out.
I've tried
So,
cuttlefish jerky. Was not it?
unrelated but kind of related. Obviously, I don't eat pork, right? Um, Beyond Meats, sausage patties, fucking real deal. Like
Nice.
I had them once at Starbucks because they were on the menu, and I've been buying a box a week every week since.
I've been meaning to try the Beyond Burger because it's available at several restaurants here in town, and like
I
it's
haven't tried the
supposed to be
burger, but I
damn
can
good.
tell you the sausage patty tastes like a fucking sausage patty
How would you know if you
Nice.
haven't had pork?
because I have had pork before
Okay.
in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry. As soon as I
Back
said
in
that, I
the
was like, "Oh wait,
misty,
that was the."
yeah,
Yes.
I'm just
So
I'm
back
wondering
in the
like
day.
the notion of it being fake pork. Like obviously it's not gone through like it's not pig. But it's meant to be like pig.
So okay, I look, I know Ian, I know, but this is actually super fascinating. I think everyone will enjoy this. Um, so with a product like Beyond Meat, where it's like fake sausage patty, it's kosher to eat that in your house, but not where someone else might see you. So I couldn't eat it outside because
Huh.
eating something like engaging
So
in behavior that could appear to be not kosher, even if it is kosher,
oh,
might convince someone else to not be kosher, which
that's
is very
fascinating.
convoluted. Yeah, but I thought that would be interesting for anyone who enjoys the weird intricacies of halakha.
Wanma,
Eh.
the more you know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do-do-do-do.
That's three. Yeah, it's because that's three teaching moments we've had. There will be an educational quiz at the end of this for your continuing education units. Uh, so,
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Dick,
Pop
as you've
quiz is
entered into this
mandatory.
room with your box and you're eating your jerky, you're noticing at the center of the
Yum,
floor of
yum,
this
yum.
room is a glass dome that's been whipped up into a frenzy of some type of. Now you're getting more pictures of it. Is like a giant sea snake or sea worm of some kind. It seems to be opening its mouth and screaming, but you can't seem to hear it through this thick glass.
Yeah, I like that thing exactly where it is on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, that feels good.
There's no way in hell that I'm gonna mess with that situation.
I moon it.
Ah, capital ass.
Yes, capital, my man. When I was at Yale.
So, as reiteration, in this space, you have a large set of ornate double doors to the north. To the south of here is a staircase that goes deep into this place.
Do we go down? Do we take the ornate wooden doors? What do you guys think?
And if
Ornate.
anyone
So
is
far-
curious, if they're a listener and you're hearing snoring in the background, that's Beans.
Or you know.
I wonder. I thought someone's phone was vibrating.
I
Is
thought
what
it was,
that
and then I was like, Beans. Oh no, you'll
The
have to
sound
wake
of
the
a happy
bean.
dog. Yeah.
Fine,
Put
I'll
your
go on
frijoles
silent.
west.
You don't have
See,
to go into.
again,
You don't have to go on silent either. I'm
I
enjoying
can't
this.
hear the snoring.
People like dogs. I like dogs. If I was listening to a podcast
too.
and I heard a weird sound, but I knew it was a
I-
dog snoring, I'd be like and subscribe and all that because there's
I
a
need to
dog
go
snoring
back.
in the background.
I need
All
to
right,
go
well-
back and find the audio clip of Magda just going crazy on my dresser
Yeah.
behind me so that y'all can hear the just straight up demon noises that bully made.
It
Welcome
got
to Dog
really-
Storecast.
Yeah.
Where we
Magda
talk about
was-
dog snoring.
Magda was a one of a kind
She
specimen. In terms
was.
of
She was a
snoring.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful young lady, and I miss her very
Were
much.
you interviewing an author at some point and they asked you if you needed to go find an exorcist?
Several people who came on Madness Heart Radio were like, "Hey, bud, something's wrong at your house." I was like, "Yeah,
Call is coming from inside the house.
it's
It was
talking
a
to you,
really
boy, as
unearthly
authors."
noise. Yeah, it was a very, very unearthly noise. So I'm
Yeah,
not
she
surprised that
was-
people were.
She was special. She
Yeah.
and she knew it. She knew she was a
R.I.P.
queen.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. So we kick the ornate door open and yell, "Surprise!"
Yeah, I
Yes,
agree with
like
that
it.
plan. Actually,
I like it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm into it.
All right. So, so who's doing the one kicking? Is that you, Dick? Are you kicking the door?
Kicking dick,
Dick's
we'll call
out.
him.
Yeah.
All right. So you kick in this door, and with a loud resonant thump that just rattles your bones, you see on the other
Resonance?
side. What?
Did you
What?
say resonance? Oh, like
Rattles your-
resonant.
Yes,
Okay.
resonant. My speech impaired. Yes. So you kick open the door, and on the other side is a a group of humanoid figures that are seem to be huddled together. They don't seem to respond to you just loudly kicking over the door, and they have that same pale, milky white skin. There are 3 spheres that are on little pedestals on the back of the room.
Can we see what's in the spheres?
They, from here they look just to be like solid crystal.
Hmm.
Ooh.
The walls themselves are also extremely ornate with that same type of braid patterning and carved symbols. Except now the symbols in this room are very faintly glowing.
I need to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
So mad at you.
Sorry.
Okay, so the wandering figures have taken no notice of us.
They're
so
not
far?
wandering. They're kind of huddled on the floor together. There's 3 of them.
Creepy. Let's not wake them up. Would be my advice. Is there an exit to this room?
No, it's just a one-way. Just a room.
Just a dead end.
Just a dead end.
We've proven before that my machete will take their heads off. And if they're not
This is true.
responding,
Well,
And
do you
Don't
call
hold it-
out to them?
I
I
thought I
nominate-
already had.
Oh, sorry, your
Yeah.
what's up, fuckers, or whatever you said. Surprise, sorry.
Surprise!
Um,
I'm here to talk to you about your not want to upset John again.
I thought you were saying that it's a cast to cast. All right, so go ahead and roll me a will save.
Oh, I know him. He hit me in the arm when we were playing with swords. 4.
4. So as you call out to them explicitly, They turn and they look at you. Their eyes are milky white orbs. Each of them has this terribly sad look on their face. They look at you and they don't seem to notice anyone else but just you, Dick. And they motion you to come closer. And another one pats a little spot on the floor next to them.
Okay, John, now you have to wake Beans up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just did she get louder?
Yeah.
She's making chainsaws.
All right. So I suppose I should go over to them and just be like, "Hi, how are you? My name's Richard."
Do you sit down with them?
I not immediately. I mean, I'm assessing the situation in my own way.
I have
Uh,
just the thing for this.
uh,
Actually, I've been hoping to deploy it all night long.
well,
Um,
it's gonna say, Dick, do you want to let this interjection happen, or are you gonna finish what your action is?
I mean, my action
sorry.
was go up and probe.
Oh,
So if
okay.
we have an interjection, my probing action, it's still
I will say,
probing.
just to just wrap that up, is make me a will save. One more.
Well,
The first will save was for a reaction roll, just for clarification, because will saves are also used for that. This one's for something different.
1.
All right. So you are
Nice.
probing it, and um, you feel no untoward effects being in this room. All right. So tell me, Baldy, what you got?
So, I approach the group of figures, and you say that they're kind of huddled down on the ground together.
Yeah, like they're sitting on
All
their
right,
haunches or on the floor.
right. Pull right up next to them on my haunches. I've got those like sewn on knee and elbow patches on all my tweed, except it's like tweed that's sewn on tweed. And I, from inside of my tweed vest, inside my tweed coat, remove my game set. Because the only thing that I love more than polishing my monocle is polishing my game skills. Now, what game do you think that a fancy gentleman like Archibald Quigley would prefer? A gentleman's game, the game of
Was
kings, perhaps.
backgammon?
chess?
Is this are you actually quizzing us, or
No. I'm presenting a dramatic flourish
I
as
I
I. Yes, please.
I specifically put something on that sheet in case you chose this pre-gen, the H.G. Wells toy soldier game.
You suggested that, and you said,
Okay.
or a game like chess, blah
Yes,
blah
yes,
blah.
yes, yes. I thought that
I
would just make
decided
your fanboy squee.
I decided to go a different direction with it. And so from inside my tweed, I pull out an antique original version of Candyland and unfold the cardboard board on the floor with my fellows there. And I'm looking at Licorice Land, ruled by Lord Licorice and the gingerbread tree and, all this stuff. And I I defy these mindless zombies to not be drawn in by the colorful depiction of the land of fudge with Gloppy, the Fudge Lord, and such renowned locations as that.
Ab-
Um,
Absolutely. Their very dour and just sullen faces at first are befuddled by this colorful thing you have pulled out, but when they look at the molasses swamp, they
yeah.
light up as they also see this kind of frowny, odd figure, and they begin to crack smiles. They seem very interested in playing the board game,
So
and
I
as
pass out pieces, and we start rattling the dice, and I'm going to get a game of Candyland going with these fellas.
all right, they are utterly transfixed by this. Guiomar and Gustavo, what are the two of you doing? You are on mute.
I said, "Does it matter, or is my dog too loud?" No, I said, "I think I would also be transfixed." Um, uh, in all seriousness, though, if he's kind of pulling them away from
From
what they
Dick.
were doing, I'm gonna check out these crystal spheres.
Taking that dick right out of their hands.
All right. So these crystals are like in between they're like the size of a large grapefruit.
My favorite
They
kind of fruit.
they are different shades of, so you, the first sphere is completely crystal clear, the second one semi-translucent, and the third one is opaque. They seem to be immaculately made.
Are they like? I'm sorry. How big are they? Like,
Oh, the size of a large
Large
grapefruit.
grapefruit.
good grapefruit. And are they? Does it feel like they're or not feel? But does it appear that they are affixed, or does it appear like maybe an enterprising Gustavo could pick one up?
They look like they're just resting on a pedestal, but you've fallen for that trap before.
And I will, and by God, I will again. I'm gonna pick one up.
Which one of the three?
Um, uh, the first one I come to, baby.
All right. Make me a will save.
I'm tell you now, I ain't gonna go well. Yep, 4 over.
All right.
Would have passed that, except someone had to miss their will check and get me all messed up by Goop Man.
Hey man, I deflected one psychic shriek with my glorious bald head. The second one, like that was on you to. Well, actually, neither one of us got to soak on that. It sucked. I agree.
Um, so you feel at first this crushing sadness wash upon you, and you have this un unrepressible desire to sit on the floor and just be sad and just
So Tuesday.
I was
and
gonna
just
say, are we still talking about the game?
and just
Because
and just
too
waste
real.
away. But as you kind of sit down on the floor to just let the rest of your life pass, you see in the corner of your eye this colorful Candyland board, and you feel your senses return to you as you fight your way out of the crushing doldrums of this place. You still have your hand trapped around the sphere. Roll me D100.
E100.
That is a 24.
All right.
I
One
have
of
a
the
D100.
Oh, that's right. One of the fun things is there in the back of this book, there are lots of random tables that you can roll on. All right. So you said it was a, what was it? 20
24.
24. Um, and remind me, was this which of the three spheres again?
I said
Clear?
the first one.
The clear. All right.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, it doesn't. It just seems like a glass sphere. There's nothing really that unusual about it at first until when you really look at it, there are very thin lines cut into the crystal, and you see that it almost looks like a puzzle orb. Like you could manipulate and twist the orb in various ways to get different
Oh,
configurations.
I like
John's intro did come true.
I want you to know that it is not the hands that call them, but
It's the
the
will.
The,
desire.
the desire.
But I have both.
So
Yeah, I go to town, baby.
you have this strange sphere. All right. So Dick, um, while are you still are you joining in this game of Canyonland, or are you wanting to check out the spheres, or go beyond this room?
I mean, there's multiple spheres in this room.
So there's a
Candyland is not
semi-translucent and
my.
an opaque sphere.
I mean, if I go near it, do I also get to roll my D100?
Maybe.
Because John getting to roll his makes me jealous.
And that was pretty fun. I have to admit, like, that was a blast.
All right,
Yeah.
go grab a
Does
sphere.
it just look like a ball?
Yeah.
Basically.
It's
Yeah,
more or
that's-
less.
Those are tiny faces. Wow.
That's the same one I have, actually.
Fun.
Oh, we're like sisters. Yay. All right, I go up to whatever orb is furthest away because
Probably opaque.
yeah.
That's going to be opaque. So go ahead and roll me your D100.
I got a 28.
A 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys rolled within 4 of each other on a D100. That's interesting. You guys really are sisters.
This appears just to be an immaculately well crafted and carved and polished opaque white sphere.
Okay.
Cool. I pocket it and put it with my not to mention the jars. Don't worry about the jars.
With your green bees.
What? What? What?
With your green beads.
I don't.
Oh yeah, you can tell them about your beads.
I
Gotcha.
don't know why you mentioned green. They're not.
right.
I was speaking as Charles, not as Baldy. Baldy is deeply engrossed in Candyland. Like he's already started gambling. He's betting like numbers without units, just like with Gustavo. So we'll see if he winds up with like 5 corpses or perhaps like 2 continents. I don't know.
You are definitely about to end up with 2 corpses at least.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a D6 there, Baldy.
Me?
Yeah.
You got it. Let's see. Is this for how many games of Candyland I win? Because the
Yeah,
answer is 2.
Maybe.
2.
All right. So the first 2 games that you play both end in a tie somehow, which doesn't make sense for how Candyland works, but the rules of physics are strange in this room, and you're not sure how these husky type creatures each have gotten themselves a copy of the molasses figure, since he's kind of an NPC, not a playable character in the game. But all right, roll me D6 one more time.
You got it. That is a 4.
Oh my god, tied again. All right. After many rounds of playing Candyland and making various bets and back and forth, they ultimately say that you can have your pick of the spheres.
Oh, that's how
Ooh.
you do it. I thought you just go up and touch them.
Yeah, I'll have the one that's left.
Left?
Oh.
They turn and they look and they see that 2 of the spheres are gone from the pedestals. They open their mouths and they begin to just make this unearthly, dry, rattling howl that sounds like sandpaper being scrubbed down an empty hallway.
Nice.
And they stand up and crack all their joints.
Well,
I fucked that up. I'm sorry, guys.
it's okay. It was worth it.
We trusted you. You told us the virtue of healthy competition and camaraderie, and this is how you betray us.
This
it might
was
be
not a
time
healthy.
for Baldy to throw his friends under the bus.
It was not a healthy competition. It promoted nothing but tooth decay, obesity, and I will.
So
Lord
these-
Licorice is just gonna fucking like tear you to pieces, man. If he hears that, you know what?
Bring it.
No, I'm gonna stick with my friends. So, I guess it's probably musket time, huh?
all right. Everyone, make me a will save.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah, not going well for this
No,
party.
our will is not good. No, that's a 9, not a 6.
Okay.
Let's assume let's you know, one thing I like about role playing games is that they're games that practice imagination and pretend. So let's imagine and pretend I passed that very well, and that I definitely didn't roll a nat
Not quite
20.
how it works.
What about you, Dick, what did you get? Did you pass?
I got a 6.
All right. Is that a pass for you right now?
Yeah, because he didn't
Well,
take that damage to his
willpower.
Okay,
willpower
that's
like
what I
we
was
did.
checking. Yep. Well, yeah. Your stat is 6, so you pass. All right. So, Dick, you move first before these creatures. You were standing behind them with the orb, and you get the drop on them. They stand, they menacingly crack all of their joints, and you act first. So it'll be you, then them, then it'll be Gustavo and Baldy.
What's left of us? Yeah.
Well,
So,
I think we've already established that my machete will kill them in one hit, right? That's how it works,
well, you're gonna
right?
have to find out.
I already did when I killed the other one, so we're good. I'm just all right. I attack it with my machete. Any of them.
All right.
I don't care.
So they all look the same. They're all kind of this androgynous form. So roll me your machete. So that's D6.
All right, D6. I
I
go,
love
hey,
that phrase.
hey,
What, roll your
Billy.
machete?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go, hey, Billy. If any of them like twitch, then if not, then I just go, and hit one.
One turns and looks towards you.
And
It's
that is
still
the,
doing that scream howling thing.
That's
Like-
annoying.
Like
like
it's like
Tell
Bat
them.
from
Boy.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where it's all like,
But it looks more like Bat Boy. How on the cover of
I
Weekly World
love
News.
Bat
Exactly.
Boy.
I
My
need to get my
mom,
noob sticker.
My mom, being a journalist, was a big fan of the Weekly World News, and so like it was frequently read in my household growing up. We all loved it. Like, great.
I at one point had a stack of Bat Boy bumper stickers that I need to find it somewhere in the house because the one on my car is wearing off, and I have not seen it on anyone else's car, so it's just like yes.
all right.
But yeah, so I rolled a 5 to machete a head
Oh.
off.
So you have practice lopping the heads.
It's taken on a Chewbacca-like sound, John.
Yeah. It's the loudest I've ever heard beans.
I'm strangely for it. I like the beans. I want a recording of beans so I can sleep better at night. Like rain sounds,
Yeah.
Bean sounds.
and
The sound of a head being
melatonin.
lopped from a head, or being lopped from a shoulder, and you just clean cut off this head. It blinks its milky eyes at you, and as its scream turns to a gurgle, and it just dies, just mouth open, agape, staring at you.
Nice shot.
The other companions turn, and they look at you, and they extend their hands in this menacing grip. The first one swings a fist at you, and it moves a lot faster than it seems like it should. As it swings its hands, its fingers turn into claws. So it strikes you for 3 points of damage. So that rips 3 of your 5 hit protection. So you're at 2 hit protection. So your you don't have tweed, but whatever it is you're wearing blocks the brunt of this attack. The second one hisses and moves forward, also with a swift fury of blows, rakes you for 4 damage. So your protection has been taken away, and you take 2 points of damage to your strength. Now you need to make me a strength check to see. So that's going to be at 9 or less to see if you take critical damage or not.
Well, I got below a 20.
So it slips its hand into your guts and
Nice.
wiggles something that shouldn't be wiggled with its claws, and you slump down to the ground, passed out from sheer pain and shock.
That's when my bird finally comes out of my pocket, and you're all like, "Oh shit, he had a talking bird the whole time."
What does it say?
I'm a disappointment.
Full circle. Oh, All right. So next in an initiative is going to be you, Baldy.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow one of them right in the dome with the musket. Is what I'm gonna do.
All right.
So that is a 3 on my
3.
strength. So yeah, that's a hit or whatever it is we're checking. I don't have any stat
Oh,
that's so
you're just
low.
rolling your damage as a D8.
Oh shit! Then in that case, let me re-roll because I rolled a D20 and I should roll a D10.
D8 for your
D8.
musket.
That's right. And there you one.
Wow, that 3 was a lot better. So
Yeah.
you fire your musket and it moves slightly out of the way. You put a big crease through its skull, just peeling back its flesh, revealing this oddly very milky white bone underneath. It looks far too white and far too glossy as its flesh kind of flops forward. It hisses
Cool.
at you and lunges into a fighting posture, seeming to get faster and faster the more it animates. All right, Gustavo is on mute.
And so yeah, I rolled a natural 1 and
Oh,
I win.
fantastic.
Okay.
Uh,
So what I was asking is I haven't actually reloaded my musket.
I imagine that you would do that in between things because of your personality.
I appreciate your faith and I shoot.
All right.
Um
The one that has been creased or the uncreased?
you said the one that got creased is like gaining speed and rage, right?
Well, these, whatever they are, these humanoid things seemed they were slow and torpid to begin with, and now they are just moving
I'll
faster
hit
and
the
faster.
uncreased one.
All right.
I roll my damage. I roll my damage. Guess what? I rolled a 1.
You also do something very similar. Your bullets just go through its flesh and peel it back, but whatever is vital about it is still kept there.
Great.
No longer am I the uncreased.
All,
Just as I intended.
all right, we'll do another round of this, and then we can put this on a dramatic cliffhanger.
Oh.
So well, each of you are going to get one of these things. The one that you had blasted, Baldy, lunges at you and strikes at you for 3 points of damage.
Okay, that's 3 from my strength, right?
So no, that's
And then
3 from your hit
and
from your
then a
hit.
saving throw.
No, it goes through your hit protection first, so it cuts through your tweed. So your tweed is now at 1.
Ah,
Because you
Nice.
have based your tweed is your soaker, your hit protection is your soak, so it doesn't put a scratch on it. So it gives you a
I
chance.
like to imagine that with every damaged tweed point, I remove a layer. So I'm like down to like my tweed like
Long
onesie
johns.
underwear. Yeah, my tweed long johns
I'm
is all
hoping
I've
that
got left.
it means you have to put more leather patches of those areas.
I'm hoping that when the
You
long
know it.
johns come off, he has tweed
Yeah.
pasties on.
I like where this is going. And then
I
Gustavo.
should get some pasties with tassels.
Gustavo, are you going to do
Gustavo?
dramatic action?
D- Um, I thought it was their turn.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I did a dramatic. I mean, I'll
I
shoot him again.
I was so distracted there by imagining tweed pasties that I lost my order of operations. It lunges at you for 1 point of damage.
Oh, good. Okay. That's
All
so I
right.
soak it.
Yes, absolutely. So as this action is happening, the sea serpent worm thing that has been violently bashing itself this entire time in that glass dome behind you finally breaks free. There's the
Ah, shit.
sound of a loud storm swelling in that room as you hear the water violently churning and the snake flopping. It seems much larger now that it is outside of this dome It is the size of a like 3 alligators back to back to back, and it is beginning to snake its way towards you. It opens its mouth wide, and it has this scent of the grave in its mouth as it roars and closes in on this room of people. Yes, student in the back.
Gustavo flips everyone the bird and says, "Later, fuckers," and topples over, crumpling like a limp basket of bread. And not seen by the very soon to be dead party, the mule happily trots away.
Wait, how do you turn into bread?
He
Yeah,
spirit
I
jumped
turned into bread. That's
into his
why.
mule. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned into my mule. I escaped by a mule.
He spirit jumped into his mule. I forget what it was I read recently that had an escape that was a lot like that. I take it that's our cliffhanger for the evening.
That's where I was going to build. Although I am surprised that you didn't use your Arcana, the one magic item for the whole party.
Well, I mean, okay. I freeze time. Now let's all sit here and not doing anything because I don't get to act either. Like it's a cool item for narrative reasons, but like we have 2 hours. I'm not gonna waste, 5 minutes of it. Like, okay, let's all sit here.
What would happen if you had like a freeze time artifact that didn't have an off switch? Like you just punched it and time stopped forever, and you're just like frozen along with everybody else. Like nothing ever unfreezes. I don't know. Would that be heat death? I guess that's heat death.
Yeah, that was basically a horror story in essence by I think Asimov called blank exclamation point, where there was a time machine that had a miscalculation, and so instead of stopping at a certain time, it stopped between times, and so it basically had molecular freeze. So the absence of all motion at that case is death, and so you're stuck in this perpetual purgatory of being stuck between times and states of motion.
That's also a thing in 40K. Like there's a other means of travel other than the warp and the webway, which is the ghost wind. It's like a specialty Necron technology that only like one of them has, and it's a like no molecular activity, no atomic activity place where their craft can just like book it. And yeah, I'm a gigantic nerd.
I love it.
So, hi everyone. Mr. Pashke, will you take us back to yeah, there we are. So, we come here to the end of Into the Odd. Like this is fun. I always have mixed emotions about auto hit games, right? Because they are so deadly so quickly. But so on one hand, like you have to
High
play
stakes.
more carefully, right? You have to be more mindful, which is not how we act at this table. Well, that's not to say that's not a good way to act. It's not a viable game style. It's just harder to propel things forward at the pace we need them propelled at this table.
Yeah,
So
and patient and careful play is a good way to act, but we act not good. That's
yeah,
how
we
we
are
act.
not good at this, y'all.
No. Well, the
but-
problem is it's only a small window for these one-shot
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
And I
So
actually had a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of territory. We got to see the box room, we got to see the gallery of spheres. We got to see that room where I shot that thing that one time that I actually did
we
some
travel to a lot more spaces than we often do travel.
Yeah, which
which for an auto hit game, like we might have died at the end in a TPK, but that's like kind of the goal of the.
I will say,
I finally died.
Usually after playing one of these games, after we cut, Ian spends like 20 minutes being like, "And you did see this cool thing or this cool thing."
Yeah.
So
see, now you've got to see a
spends a lot
sufficient
of
amount of things.
time laying a trail for us, which we then just happily like skip right down the cliff instead
like
of
assholes.
No,
taking the careful trail.
that's I have modified my amount of prep that I do for things since I've learned not to try to anticipate your moves.
Smart.
Proud of you.
But I'll say that I like the auto hit because the one counterbalance to that is that if you just have a light rest that doesn't take up any resources, you get all of your HP back. You don't get your
Right.
stat back because that encourages you to go back to base because you need time to heal. So you have that mechanism to then take odd things out of wherever you're exploring. So me personally, I like that, and also not having the math of I swing and I hit because there's always a lot of delay that comes from the
Right,
calculus a
right, right,
player
right, right.
makes. So I really like that. I like it. The
More
thing
than
is,
just the mechanic, the setting I really, really like. Like there's a diversity of types of encounters you can have. There are some really interesting enemies, just like in the book in general. I quite enjoy it. So
there's one table that I should have had you roll on, and since you have this D100s that you like, roll me a D100 because there is for a GM. You can tell lovingly this is put here. There is a column that is I eat this stuff. And so
78.
I should have done that for the jerky. So 78. The
Yes.
first taste is gross. The second is delicious. What about you, Mr. Paschke?
All right, I get to roll it too. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have a D100. Sorry.
Um,
You can
oh,
roll two
oh, oh,
D10s, but
it shifted 22. Why is my D100 so low?
22. Ugh, so salty. It's gross. And
All right,
just
I want
because
in on
I
this.
want
Hang
you,
on.
do you want me to roll for you?
Well,
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind,
hold on.
Zippy,
Do you have a D100?
you go for it, Pashke.
you
Do it
roll
for
for
me.
him.
All
Roll
right,
for Charles.
98.
98. Rapid
It's good
hair
roll.
growth. Permanent. Baldy gets a full set of hair.
Nice. But it's only
Now I'm
on
gonna
his
have to go by
taint.
Archie. Yeah, yes, just like all the way down one pant leg, like wrapped around the ankle. Yeah, I'm
So
gonna change my name from Baldy to Archie. That's great.
we had a lot of fun though. Look, Free League has been very generous with us.
Really cool.
And
Yeah.
they've been really amazing. Obviously, Johan has been incredibly generous with his time, both for us as creators, but also as just like the time and love he gives the RPG, the indie RPG community is overwhelming and cool. Um, and you know, when you think about it, like Free League, Johan Nor, these guys, um, they've really helped propel the indie industry. Like half the games we played exist because these guys took the first steps. So we're very
Hmm.
grateful for them. This was a blast to play, and obvious.
And we have
The only thing really I want to announce, this is for Madness Heart Press as an overarching company that Mr. Bernard and I both work for. Um, we went crazy this year. We published 26 books, or rather, we will have published 26 books by the end of December. And it's not all horror. We have urban fantasy, we have bizarro, we have thrillers, we have Jewish stuff. I really want to ask you, go to madnessheart.press and look at our catalog. It is a massive thing, and it's filled with the covers are done by all kinds of talented artists like Luke Spooner and Simone Tometa. The writing is like, I don't accept filler. Anyone who knows me can tell you I don't accept. I don't. I mean, I did back in 2019 when I was first getting started, but I don't accept books that I don't think are incredible. So if you look around our catalog, you're sure to find something that's really cool. And if you're like, hey, I don't want to read X or I really want to find Y, message me on Twitter. I will point you towards a cool book. Message Charles because he manages our social media. He'll be more than happy to hold your hand and find you the right book. with that in mind, the Kickstarter Notify Me page for Whispers of the Dead Saint, a Mork Borg novel, is still live. I would love to see that hit 420. It would make me so happy.
If you go to tinyurl.com/MB novel, capital M, capital B, capital N, OVEL, that'll take you right there to the Notify Me page where you can sign up.
If you want to find any of us, about us, our various Twitter handles, where you can find the cast, where you can find us individually, you can go to onemoncast.com, where it has links and our bios and all that information for you, readily available. Um, and there was one other thing I was going to mention. Oh, last week we played Porkin' in the Void. That is still on Kickstarter. So please make sure to go back that as well. Is there anything I'm missing, guys? Anything y'all want to do a quick shout out for? Oh, actually, yes. Kids on Bikes of second edition is on Kickstarter right now. I don't know that we're going to play it on the cast yet, although I know we're going to put out feelers.
I'm
But
lobbying for it. Yeah.
yeah, Charles, this game was essentially built for Charles, I think. So
Yeah.
go check it out, and if you like it, please back it. So anyway, all that aside, thank you so much. Remember, if you're on Twitch, if you follow us, if you subscribe, you can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime. It really helps us. It really helps the algorithm. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the little bell to get notified when we have new episodes go live, or click subscribe so you can find us easily. Again, both of those things are free, and both of those things really help us. We don't advertise. We're four broke dudes that are just like in trying to bring you entertainment and tell you about cool new games. And if you like it, tell your friends. Word of mouth is how we grow. Thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey that we call Wandering Monster. I have been John Butterball Baltusberger.
I've been Charles Roxanne Bernard.
I've been a giant shell that was full of lamprey tentacles. Servas.
I've been Mr. Never Sleep again. Always stay awake. Always have your machete with you, just in case.
This has been Wandering Monster America's Cess Table, and we will be back next week with another game, the Stress Test.